Say rolling around, sitting on doves, can't lie, I was high on shrubs.
I'm Strange Wang, he's Nate, this is Topical, and this is a special video. It's the first video for our Patreon. We're just launching very, very soon. So this is a show that's going to be exclusive to that. So if you like it, become a Patreon. First link in the description is that. And then all of our other links, we got coffee too. So if you don't want to become a Patreon, donate a little bit of cheddar to us. I need buttons for my shirts. But
I'll sew them on.
Yeah. So the show basically is blank best movie. And today's blank is Wes Anderson. He's going to tell you how the show works.
So today we're going to both state what we think Wes Anderson's best movie is. And you're going to comment down below after watching the video. Who do you think did the best, most convincing job? Or maybe you already know what you think it is. Either way, you're going to tell us who you think won down in the comment section below. Once this is on Patreon, it's going to work the same way. Patrons will decide who the winner was. And also give us who's or what's blank we're going to do for next week. It could be an actor, director, cinematographer, or whatever.
All right. I'm going to go first. I think... So, if we both have the same film, it's a coin flip. You win the coin flip, you get the movie. I'm going first, so hopefully he doesn't have mine.
Why do you get to go first?
Because I got on sunglasses. It's the War Tenenbaums.
Oh, no, we're good.
I figured we'd be good anyways. But I think this is the best Wes Anderson movie because it's the most layered movie, in my opinion, of his. It's the one he's, in my opinion, most known for as well. You got Bill Murray being classic Bill Murray. Owen Wilson's not annoying. Luke Wilson has this great plot throughout the film with his sister Gwyneth Paltrow and her storyline. Not Bill Murray. Gene Hackman. This is the best Gene Hackman movie.
Okay.
Bill Murray's the...
I was about to say, that I would not call that a classic Bill Murray performance.
Nah, he's like low-key cuckold husband. But Gwyneth Paltrow, her storyline... and her life. Everyone's life is so interesting. All the way to the minor characters like Danny Glover. You know, everyone has something in this movie and it's meaningful, which links with the next thing. It's like a grandfather clock. And I mean that because Wes Anderson, he's a classy guy. Grandfather clocks are classy. A lot of turning motions. And even the gears that I think are annoying, like Ben Stiller, like Owen Wilson, I love them. I care for them and their feelings and their outlook. And because of that, it makes the clock run beautifully. And you get the Wes Anderson style. And what I also love about this, out of all of his movies, minus Bottle Rocket, and I would say probably like minus Bottle Rocket, I think it's his most realistic movie that could translate to this world. Like, these feel more like real people than anyone else. Like, more real than Steve Zissou, more real than any of his other phenomenal characters. The guy hasn't had a bad movie. And I like things I can relate to. And I feel like this movie has the most relatability to it as well. And quotability. Gene Hackman, he says some fucking off-the-wall stuff and it's fucking great.
So, I love The Royal Tenenbaums. Excellent movie. Agree with most of what you just said. But you're still wrong. Because Wes Anderson's best movie is The Grand Budapest Hotel, which I'm sure is what you knew that I was going to say.
It was either that or the... my brain doesn't work today.
The Darjeeling Limited?
No, Little Kids.
Moonrise Kingdom?
Yeah.
That's his third best movie.
It was between those two.
No. So, all right.
Darjeeling Limited. Why is that your second choice?
Because we always end up talking about... It's not my second choice. It's just what I thought you were going to say because we end up talking about it all the time.
I almost went with a short film before that film.
So, all right. Grand Budapest. In terms of Wes Anderson, all of his movies have phenomenal color palettes. This one is the best. Almost all of his movies have some sort of blend of like... They're almost all entirely live action, but almost all of them have some sort of blend of stop motion, claymation, some sort of random little animation put in it. Obviously, his two movies that are all of that. But in this one, it's the best use of it because it's the most subtle. And for me, it's the characters themselves. So we've talked about it before. Wes Anderson is really, really good at making movies about incredibly flawed characters. Right? Like, most of the characters in his movies are, like, not good people.
Yeah.
And I like, to me, that's incredibly endearing because I think it is realistic. I think that Grand Budapest does the best job of giving you characters that are still not the most emotionally healthy or stable people, but giving you like the greatest ability to like develop endearment towards them, because they are good people. They just do shady stuff. Like Ray Fiennes is over here banging old broads to get their get that inheritance, which honestly is ultimately what drives the film. I think what ultimately makes Grand Budapest his best, is there's nothing that is wasted. Like, I cannot think of a single thing that I could or would cut from Grand Budapest, because everything matters. Everything needs to be in that film. So with Royal Tenenbaums, there's some things that don't absolutely have to be in there. Like, to be honest, it's true. The movie is still just as good without like Bill Murray's whole side thing with the little kid that he's trying to figure out what's wrong with. It's incredibly quirky and I love it, but it does not need to be in that movie at all. And I'm not mad that it's in the movie, but in terms of like closest thing to film perfection, like that doesn't need to be in there. Grand Budapest, there's not a single plot line, there's not a single character that has anything going on that absolutely has to be cut. Also at Grand Budapest, you get a blend of everything. You get some adventure, you get a great little love story. Your villains are incredibly villainous, almost to the point of like he knows how to touch that line of cliche, but instead of hitting the cliche point, it makes it absolutely eclectic and like so much fun to watch. So like Adrian Brody and Willem Dafoe in this movie, perfect villains, because there's no denying that they are. You can look at them and tell, but they don't feel like so over the top that it's absolutely defeating. Royal Tenenbaums, like, who's the villain? Like, Royal kind of is for a little bit, and then Owen Wilson's character kind of is for a little bit as well. And I'm not saying you have to have this super clearly defined villain, but in terms of like film completeness, Grand Budapest is it.
So now it's time for our rebuttals, and trying to keep these short because it is a rebuttal. So we're going to go around 45 seconds to a minute, roughly. So to combat your points, not everyone's fucking grannies. Like, I'll fuck a few grannies here and there, but because there's so many characters in the Royal Tenenbaums, there's more things to relate to. You might relate to Bill Murray's character. You might relate to Owen Wilson's character, Ben Stiller's character. You might even be in a royal situation. And because there's so many different outlets, it opens up the wider audience of people that can relate to this movie and have more emotion. So I think when it comes to the emotional sense of the film, I think it has that over Grand Budapest by far. Bill Murray's little buddy, I said the movie's more realistic. Bill Murray's little buddy is realistic because Bill Murray still has to do a job. He still works. He still has a life. And it just shows you a little bit into his life. Like, his life doesn't shut down because Gwyneth Paltrow won't fucking talk to him because she's in the bathroom smoking cigarettes and whatnot. So that just shows these characters are so fleshed out, and he can add the quirkiness to it and make it amazing, because I think Little Buddy's amazing, and Bill Murray with him, that's a good combination, because it just shows, like I said, these characters are all fleshed out. And like I said, it is more realistic because Owen Wilson and Royal, they're bad people, they're not villains. Every movie doesn't need a villain. And if you want to watch a movie with a villain, just watch any other movie. This is different and makes it more original, and the quirkiness is there. So you won't find another movie quite like this movie ever. Not at your local shelf at the Blockbuster. It's not going to be there.
So you made a good point. You won't find another movie like that. But you can say that about any Wes Anderson movie. So I don't think that's necessarily any point to the Royal Tenenbaums specifically, as much as it is a point for both of our films. And yeah, it is nice to like see that extra part of Bill Murray's life, but this is a movie. You only get so much time. Like, I would have rather had more time with figuring out what's like, develop more of like what life was like for Owen Wilson growing up with these like 3 child prodigies. I want to spend more time with Angelica Houston and Danny Glover. Like, their relationship is the best part of the whole movie. Like, you could have taken the 15 minutes that we spent with this kid being as quirky as he is and put more into that, because I agree with you. I do emotionally connect with that movie a lot. I could have been even more emotionally connected with it. Also, no secret that Wes Anderson is incredibly stylistic. Most of the time when he does it, it is either to really bring your eye to something, just to draw you into a focal point, or the colors that he uses are like for a specific purpose, and even his down to his costume design. I think he has like some minor missteps in the Royal Tenenbaums, specifically in that, why the heck is Ben Stiller wearing a red tracksuit the whole freaking movie? Like, everybody else changes clothes throughout the whole movie. Why is he wearing a red tracksuit the whole movie? Why is he forcing his kids to wear red tracksuits the whole fucking movie? Like, doesn't make any sense.
I may not have 101 Dalmatians, but I have 101 more counterpoints to his argument. But we only get one rebuttal. Tell us who won in the comment section below. If you want to see more of this show, be sure to become a Patreon. We would love to have you. And since this is on YouTube, and it's your first time seeing us, you're blessed because you saw me. But also, like, comment, share, and subscribe.
One more thing.
Up here are all the various social media platforms that you can find us on. The links to those are at the bottom. Please come and follow us. If you are not a Patreon but would like to donate in a smaller capacity, we also have a link to our coffee account down there, and we would greatly appreciate your support.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.